Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ron Robinson. I'm the coordinator for the Chelsea Science Festival, but I'm also co-director of the Latimer Society and Museum. I would like to welcome you to the telecast, and I'll talk a little about the festival in terms of why we established it. This is the 5th year after a 3-year hiatus because of COVID. We wanted to get back to this, and why we set up the festival was to encourage as many young people in our city and businesses, schools, or what have you, regarding STEM, science, tech. Actually, it's now called STEAM, science, tech, engineering, art, and math. So today we're fortunate to have a big contingent of people from the Museum of Science. We have the Latimer Society and Museum. We have the Chelsea Public Library, and we have the Chelsea Fire Department, who also has been pretty solid with presentations for kids through the years. You know, and I'm so appreciative because it's difficult to get people to get involved in this in our town. And I often wonder why. You're helping these young people and that sort of thing, but that's a whole nother matter. So today we're very excited and pleased to be here, and we're going to see what happens. Okay? Yeah, so hope you enjoy it.
Hi everyone, my name is Yareli and this is Adam Matties, and we're from the Chelsea Public Library. We're here at the Chelsea Science Festival today, and we have a couple of activities and some goodies to give away. Kids can pass by and make a telescope. We are highlighting the telescope because the library actually is about to have their own telescope for families to check out and take home with them. So that's in the works, so keep an eye out for that. And then we have some books here. Just feel free to pass by the library anytime. We are open Monday through Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then Thursday is our long day. We're open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Then Friday again back to 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 10 to 1. Those are our summer hours, and they'll end probably around the first week of school, and then we switch back to our winter hours, and we'll update you on that. But pass by the library, it's right across the street from City Hall, and we'll see you there.
Hi, I'm Nick Quattieri here with the Chelsea Fire Department to participate in the STEM Science Fair. So today at the Fire Department we're offering we came down with our rescue. So we have a bunch of different tools and different applications that we're always prepared for as we serve the community. So today, for example, off this rescue, we carry the search camera. So the search camera is used if we have a structural collapse and we need to look through a piece of concrete or a piece of flooring while we're searching for a victim. We'll make a hole and investigate, and this camera allows us to search a compartment before actually having to enter it. That way we can identify if there's a victim down or a patient or someone that needs our help. With this tool we also carry these sound detectors. So this allows us to pinpoint by sound. And so here, part of the rescue as well, we've got struts. These are all designed to embrace structural loads for a structural collapse. This is our hazmat section in case we have to intervene with with chemicals or any type of hazmat operation. We carry an air cart, again for oxygen depleted environments, and then we carry all our ropes. This is our rope tool, and if you're somewhere, we have the capacity to be able to grab you. So over here is what we're offering today as part of the science fair, is that we have a mechanical advantage system. So what we have here is a 4-to-1 system and a 1-to-1 system. So what this allows to do is it's going to allow the kids or whoever else to understand what mechanical advantage is. So with the 4-to-1 system, you're going to be lifting a fourth of the weight compared to the full. So a 4-to-1 system is going to be much easier. It allows us to do much more work in a shorter amount of time.
Hi, I'm Mike from the Museum of Science in Boston, and we're here in Chelsea at the Chelsea Science Festival. And we have a variety of science and engineering activities. One of the activities for visitors is to engineer so that they can protect a snowboarder from an avalanche. It all starts with a dry erase board. That's going to be our sort of field of snow. They select a snowboarder that attaches with a magnet, and then a variety of pieces with magnets on them as well. So they're going to be creating walls, ramps, nets, posts to try and block a bunch of snow and ice that will hopefully not hit our snowboarders. The materials are here. Once we've engineered a solution to our challenge, we go test it. So I'm going to walk over here. This is our Avalanche Machine. Again, we're imagining that our snowboarder is on the ski slope, and that the snow and ice is building up at the top of the mountain. We're using plastic pellets to represent our snow and ice. But it builds up and builds up and builds up until that energy is released in an avalanche, a cascade of snow and ice. Let's see what happens to our snowboarder. I hope that they are safe. 1, 2, 3. No! Knocked over. One of our walls fell down because of that cascade of snow and ice. But that's all right. We're learning about engineering today, which is building, testing, and improving in design. So if we didn't protect our snowboarder this time, we could very easily go back and change something. Maybe use different pieces. Maybe use more pieces. Maybe change the way that they're arranged. Again, looking for a solution until we do succeed. All right, at this table, Museum of Science is exploring the science of magnets. And basically, we're exploring how magnets can push or pull other magnets because of their poles. So I have just a set of magnets here that are labeled. One pole is red, one pole is blue. And if you bring the same pole together, it's very difficult to get them to touch. That's because the same poles will push or repel. Opposites, however, attract. So if I take the blue side and the red and bring them together, they're going to pull onto each other or attract one another. And all the activities that we have are basically variations upon that main theme. We have more powerful magnets that are embedded inside these wands. Attract, or if we get the same pole, a blue and a blue, repel. So this is actually very difficult to try and squeeze them together. And even if you had two people, you wouldn't be able to do it. So again, the same idea, attract or repel. So what can we do with that knowledge? Well, you can make things float or levitate. Here we have a series of ring magnets. The sides aren't labeled, but one side is a north, the other side is a south, and they can attract or repel. So in this case, I have a magnet down at the base here. If I drop a magnet on, opposites attract, but if I reverse it, so now we have the same pole, a north and a north or a south and a south, doesn't really matter which, they're going to repel. And we have what we call magnetic levitation, or maglev. Some of you out there may have heard of this technology for trains, maglev trains that are in Europe and Asia, places like Japan. So if you have levitation, you don't have to worry about things rubbing against each other. So for a train, that's pretty useful. Now you can keep stacking these magnets, testing. You can store energy inside magnets and create a spring, launch it off. So there's lots of challenges and things that we can ask visitors to do. We can also just play. These activities are about open, exploratory play of the science of magnets. Over here we have a pendulum, which is just something that swings back and forth, and it moves in a very predictable sort of way. But this pendulum has a magnetic wand and then a couple of other magnets attached to it. Pretty strong magnets. It's adjustable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of those rectangular magnets and place them underneath. We'll do a couple norths and a couple souths. So now as I swing the magnet back and forth, this wand is going to interact with the magnets underneath, pushing and pulling, so that our regular expected pattern gets changed. Now, one thing we want visitors to learn about magnets is that not only can they push and pull, but magnets have a field. They interact with things around them, and that force, the magnetic push or pull, the force, that's what force is in science, can get stronger or weaker. So if we double up our magnets, we now have a stronger field, and now our wand might get pushed more or less to the side. You can change the shape of the magnet easily enough. These are just magnets embedded in some plastic spheres. The nice thing about that is that they'll roll. And again, rolling in a straight line is pretty predictable, but if you have a magnet interacting with a different magnet, they start to curve and move in more unpredictable ways. And we can sort of pick them up as we go. And the more magnets that attach to our wand, as we know from before, the stronger it gets. So it'll just start grabbing more and more of those magnetic spheres. Over here, we have not another magnet for our magnets to interact with, but a piece of steel, a paper clip. So with this one, it's a challenge of dexterity, where we're going to try and hold on to that paper clip, but using our magnet wand, move it all the way down to the table without it dropping. We talked before about how magnets have a field. In this case, the field is invisible, but it surrounds the magnet, but it's only so strong. Earlier, we said we can increase the strength of a magnet. So what if I put a few more onto our wand? Now that magnetic field is stronger, and you might make a prediction out there whether it's going to be easier or harder for me to do this. But the stronger the field, the further I can get away from that paperclip without it falling. And now it's a bit simpler for me. Go back the other way, I can go faster, and I have to pull it pretty far away before it starts to drop off. So that magnetic field is so strong, in fact, that it travels through objects. So here I've got palmed a magnet here. It's just on the other side of my palm. I'm going to stack a magnet on top of it. Okay, that'll hold, which is neat. But we know that it's a strong field, so I could also move it away. And you may have noticed that I was able to move it away maybe an inch or an inch and a half before it fell off. So it shows you just how strong that magnetic field is. And again, they could use these materials in lots of different ways, change them, manipulate them, arrange them in different patterns, have different kinds of magnets interact. Really want them to explore. And there's something that seems pretty basic. A magnet that'll stick on your refrigerator, or a magnet that you can use to pick up screws or bolts that may be lying on the floor. It's a really cool and interesting science.
Good afternoon. We're here for the Chelsea Science Festival, and actually we've been partners with the Museum of Science for several years now, the Chelsea Fire Department with the Rescue One equipment to demonstrate all the different gears and technique that the fire department used in order to save people. Working with the Chelsea Public Library. Actually, each February I go into the schools to work with 22 classes to learn about science, work with the science department teaching about Latimer, showing some of the magnets and some of the inventions that Latimer did, the filament and the light bulb. But most of all,
we want to show kids careers, and those careers relate around science. And right now, Chelsea's been able to get a new bio company that's coming into Chelsea that's going to be located where Ferramos is, going to be near the high school. They're going to be working with the Chelsea High students. We're hoping to get some internships out of that. And it's very, very important that we push education in this community. In order to take yourself out of poverty, you're going to need a good education, to have good skills to be able to apply for good jobs. I just want to be able to thank everybody who participated here today in the Science Festival. And it's unfortunate that it was a little too hot for some of the programs to come up and participate. But we will be back bigger and stronger. And actually I want to shout out to the people who make this possible, Chelsea Community Cable TV, Ricky and Paula, and we appreciate the coverage that they give in regards to the Science Festival. Thank you.